The concept of one nation, one election is straightforward. India votes for both the Lok Sabha or Parliament and all state assemblies on a single day or within a short time frame. This means aligning the electoral cycles of the central government and all states, moving away from the current system of staggered elections. Proponents argue that this system promotes administrative efficiency, reduces costs, and ensures policy continuity. Critics, however, express concerns about potential loss of regional issues in a national wave and challenges in implementation. The debate over one nation, one election is not new to India. It harks back to the early years of the Republic and has resurfaced periodically, sparking intense discussions about its merits and demerits. In the nascent years of independent India, from 1951 to 1967, Lok Sabha and state assembly elections were held simultaneously. This practice, however, was discontinued due to various factors, including the premature dissolution of some state assemblies and the imposition of president's rule in certain states. As a result, the electoral cycles of the centre and states diverged, leading to a situation where elections are held almost every year in some part of the country. This constant electioneering has significant implications for governance, policy-making, and resource allocation. The shift away from simultaneous elections was gradual, driven by the evolving political landscape and the assertion of regional aspirations. The current fragmented electoral system is a product of these historical developments. The current scenario of frequent elections in India has drawn criticism for its impact on governance and development. The model code of conduct imposed during elections often restricts the announcement of new policies and initiatives, leading to policy paralysis. The constant campaigning also diverts significant resources and manpower away from crucial developmental activities. Furthermore, the repeated use of populist measures for electoral gains can have long-term detrimental effects on the economy. The financial burden of conducting elections is enormous, with significant expenditure incurred on security arrangements, logistics, and manpower. Critics argue that these resources could be better utilized for social welfare programs and infrastructure development. Advocates of one nation, one election highlight several potential benefits. Holding simultaneous elections could lead to substantial cost savings by reducing the expenditure on election machinery, security personnel, and logistical arrangements. It is also argued that simultaneous elections could minimize the disruption caused by the model code of conduct, allowing governments to focus on governance and long-term policy planning. Moreover, syncing election cycles could potentially lead to higher voter turnout, as citizens would find it more convenient to vote for both the centre and the state on a single day. The prospect of a more efficient and cost-effective electoral process has made one nation, one election an attractive proposition for policymakers and a section of the public. Section 5. The roadblocks. Challenges in implementation. Despite its potential benefits, implementing one nation, one election in India presents significant challenges. One of the main hurdles is the possibility of mid-term polls. If a state government loses a vote of confidence or the Lok Sabha is dissolved prematurely, holding fresh elections for only those bodies would disrupt the synchronized cycle. Another challenge is the need for constitutional amendments. Aligning the electoral terms of the Lok Sabha and state assemblies would require amendments to articles related to the tenure of the houses and the president's power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. These amendments would require broad political consensus, which might be difficult to achieve. Opposition from regional parties is another significant obstacle. Some regional parties fear that simultaneous elections might benefit national parties and overshadow regional issues, potentially impacting their electoral prospects. Addressing these concerns and building consensus among all stakeholders is crucial for any successful implementation. Section 6. Global examples. one nation, one election around the world. Several countries around the world, including Sweden, South Africa, and Indonesia, have successfully implemented systems of simultaneous elections. Each country's experience offers valuable insights into the potential benefits and challenges associated with such a system. Sweden, for instance, has a long history of synchronized elections for its national and local governments, which has contributed to political stability and efficient governance. South Africa holds simultaneous elections for its national and provincial legislatures, streamlining the electoral process and reducing costs. Indonesia, despite its vast and diverse archipelago, adopted simultaneous elections in 2019 to enhance efficiency and voter turnout. Examining these global examples can provide valuable lessons for India as it contemplates electoral reforms and the feasibility of one nation, one election. Section 7. A phased approach, navigating the path to reform. Given the complexities and challenges associated with implementing one nation, one election in one go, a phased approach could be a more pragmatic way forward. This could involve aligning the election cycles of a few states at a time, gradually moving towards a synchronized system. Pilot projects could be initiated in states that are open to the idea, allowing for testing and refining the process before nationwide implementation. Building consensus among political parties, addressing concerns of regional parties, and educating the public about the potential benefits are crucial steps in this process. A gradual and consultative approach can help mitigate risks, address concerns, and pave the way for a smoother transition to a synchronized electoral system. Section 8. The future of Indian democracy. A unified electoral system. The concept of one nation, one election presents both opportunities and challenges for India. While it holds the promise of a more efficient and cost-effective electoral process, its implementation requires careful consideration, broad political consensus, and a phased approach. As India's democracy continues to evolve, the debate on electoral reforms will undoubtedly intensify. Whether one nation, one election becomes a reality in India remains to be seen. However, the ongoing discussions highlight the need for continuous evaluation and reform of the country's electoral system to ensure its vibrancy, efficiency, and responsiveness to the needs of its people. The future of Indian democracy rests on the ability of its leaders and citizens to engage in informed debate, embrace innovation, and work towards building a stronger and more inclusive democracy.